Hello and welcome again to the font renderer. This is practically finished now, and it's changed a lot. It is now about 392, almost 400 lines long. And as you can see, I've added new classes to represent formats, classes to represent lines like strike through and underline. New feature, I've got classes to represent backgrounds, and it's also much nicer. So this is the actual class. Render backs. There's one thing that probably isn't finished actually, which was reset styles. Because I probably want to say, well, haven't I finished? Well, I want to set B color dot set new color, and this one would probably be one. This one wants to be transparent as default. I might do that in future and get rid of the underline and strike things with the underline and strike as well. They do sport null, unlike the default color. So, initialize it. And now I've got a more advanced string to display using all the missing features. So here we go. None. As you can see, we're on build 103 now. Here we go. Pretty advanced. Now, you might see the M looks a bit weird. And it's a bit below, but actually it isn't. That's just because underline starts there, as you can see. You got strike through all the way along to there. We got a line break there. We got a tab there. You can see. So we can see the following features. Normal yellow colour, so different colours. As you can see, it's green by the end. Strike through, italics, bold, tabs, random colours, underline, random characters with the same width, unlike the R1, which would just do any width, and also a few more features you may not have noticed. Background there can be any colour. Strike through can now be any colour. And underline can now be any colour. Using the same colour definitions as that. Except they support, well, this supports all colours except one. So the new colours are N and T in the Minecraft mode, as I call it. Where you've got one character represent a colour. N stands for null or no colour, which is not permitted for these colours, and it will just set it to white. And T stands for transparent, which means there's nothing there, which is only really used on this. Although I might use it on strike for an underline as well to represent them being off, instead of having separate booleans for them. So what null N is actually for is for the underline, strike through and background colours only. It basically says there is no colour here, so use the default colour, the foreground colour, which is probably not the best thing to do if you're doing the background, but everything else will be fine. As you can see, flickering colours. So it's fully done. Fully advanced. I can write practically anything I want now. It's a nice thing. So we're only 4 minutes in and I've explained everything. So I'll go over all the new things. So I'll go through the handle format, the sub-handle format method as it's called now. So yeah, a few more changes. Handle format now can have separate formats divided by this character here, which is pretty nice. So if we go sub-handle format, we'll go through all the new formats. First of all, colour, same as before. Localization, same as before. N is a new one, which stands for no format, which basically disables format. And it can be used to render all characters except... It's used for rendering... what do you call it? If you want text that contains the format, curly brackets, you've got to use that. But characters won't work in there, colon won't work in there, and semicolon won't work in there. So if you want to use those, you can't do it in N. F format, same as before, but I think there's some new. No, there isn't really. U, underline color, which is a color variable, so it does the color format method. So you've got true here on the color format method and false there. That just tells me if it's to permit nulls. S color, which is strike through color, and B color, which is background color. Now background color is the only variable that if it's transparent, it being transparent or T disables background. There's no separate boolean for background. And R is random. C, so R, if you put an argument as C in, it'll be random color, and L for random letter. So it's pretty easy to remember. So you can reset styles. I haven't made a separate thing to do that. So actually, maybe this will still change, but probably not enough for me to do another video. Also, I've got a method. So you actually, rendering is now spent 3 processes. It renders the lines, which have been put in a queue. As you know, I'll go the correct way. It starts here. It renders the backs, which have been put in a concurrent link queue, till there's none left. Then it renders the vertexes, which have been put in a concurrent link queue. And this is what basically the textures are. And for those who do know graphics, it's because I cannot render the backgrounds after I've rendered the text, because that would look weird. And also render lines goes above the text, which is render vertexes, and that's basically the strike throughs and stuff. So, and also one more method I added, get color, which basically gets format color, and if it's null, then it uses default color. So now I'll write some text. So here's the actual text here. Also, of course, so I can change the size here. That's my size variable. I believe size, I'll just press the build button anyway. Yep, it's hard to see, but we have gone down in size. It's really hard to read the text now, though. But I did probably a bit bigger than that for the chat. Probably size 16 maybe for the chat. I believe this is directly proportional to Microsoft Word sizes, but I'm not entirely sure. Could be used for chat, I suppose. 18, I'll try. Well, 24 I know works, so I'll just program in 18. Could always change the font. It does support any Angel Code font that I put in, but it does require my own modifications. So if you want to convert your own Angel Code font to my font, first of all, delete all characters that have got values of over the max value for character, which is 65,535, I think. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, although you don't have to delete them, the pages are not really needed. Third thing is, convert your files. Add the page count. So in your bold font, add the page count of the font, the non-bold font, to all your pages in here. So for example 2 and 3. And also convert your ones in sequential order. So that's not bold and that's bold. So they're all stored in the same array now. Which is pretty good. So we'll write some text. Close that. Yeah, that's a good size for the chat, I think. Size 18. Probably not directly proportional to Microsoft Word then, but still good size. So let's start writing. Hello. Exclamation mark. This is a... Then we're going to use maybe italics here. So it's just simply just putting that. Unispaced font. So that's simple. Render that now, we should get none, because we haven't really changed anything. Hello, this is a unispaced font, with that being in italics. Of course, it's not actually italics, it's oblique, but most people call it italics. So it looks pretty good. That's how it's going to look in chat, kind of, I think. So, hello, this is Unispace font. So in a string text, a string builder text, new string builder. So you need that. This is a Unispace font. Sorry for interruption. The interruption is now 12 hours almost 12 hours since I paused. Well, pressed the pause button. Yep. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, we're making that thing. This is Unispace font. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put text.append that. So string builders are good because it's easier to do multiple lines like this. Where's the Unispace font? Then we can do that's ours. Although /r is not actually permitted yet. Text.append. So we got this is in. Then you need bold, for which is this. /n. And you can do this as well. So far we've got this. If we run it, we're rendering. Damn. Where's it? Build. No, not that. That's not what we want. We want that. Hate it when it does that. 105. Yep. The bold is kind of hard to see though, which is the only problem. I don't know how to make that any better though. Bold is the... Oh, that'll probably be fixed later, but underline looks kind of good. Strike through looks kind of good. So you can do about everything with it. So I think I'll end the video there.